Gen 2 tubeless tyre. This is how the kit will come. And this is the front wheel of the KTM. This is the tube for it. As you can see, it comes with a complete pack. Inside here you have the rim shield, and you have the tape, and you have stickers and the instructions. So everything's in there before you start to do the fitting of the tyre. Right, hi everyone, and we're here today at Protyre in Plymouth to fit the Gen 2 tubeless tyres to my KTM EXE 350F. Been looking at doing it for some time now, and Dave Thomas and Craig Ashmore has obliged by saying let's use this as a trial run, and hopefully if successful, which I'm sure it will be, we'll be looking, and they'll be looking at fitting more in the near future. As you may have noticed on other video sites, there is an important setup on how to do these. If we don't get it right from the step-by-step gauge, it can cause problems with the tubeless tyre and the inflation. But if you get everything right on the step gauge, then everything should be successful. The rim has to be clean, free of any debris or anything coming out or that may pierce the tube itself. So this was in pretty bad state. Craig took it onto the grinder and ground down everything, and we've now checked to find everything's okay. We then look for where the holes are, and as you see on this bike, we're lucky because the two holes are the distance apart, which shows on here 4 spokes, 1, 2, 3, 4 distances apart. One, however, will have to be drilled to an 11mm distance. This one is at 10, one is at 11, but we'll go through that a bit more later on. Okay, we're now expanding this hole to 11mm. And then when we've done this, we'll then go around with a bit of emery cloth and just make sure there's no abrasive parts around the area. Once we've done this, we're going to put some tape all the way around the inner part of the rim and the edges. It doesn't say this on the DVD, but on other websites they recommend that's done before the central piece of protective tape is put around the edges. So we'll now take this over to the bench and we'll put some tape around and the centre piece, and we'll get back to you. Okay, this is a tip that we got from a guy on a DVD, and use some silver gaffer tape. His experience before is if he didn't put this on, he was getting some punches through the front wheel, and mainly on the front wheel. And this will help to alleviate any of that. So we put some gaffer tape that will go around the rim part either side, and also the central part, before we put the centre beading and tape on the inside. So that would be the next step, and then we'll cut the holes so that we can push the tubeless Gen 2 over the top of the rim, and that will come in the next stage. Is to fit the tape that's been supplied with the kit. As you can see now, this will go on the gaffer tape, which will give it better adhesion to the rim itself. So we're now going to run this all the way around the rim, right in the centre, sticking it down as we go. And the video shows that it shouldn't overlap. There's been instructions now that's come with the kit to say that that's an error, and that we should overlap by at least 1 inch. So as you can see, we're slowly putting this on. This is an important part of the process because this is what the tubing will actually sit on, and so we want to make sure that it gets good adhesion. And as you can see, we're not pulling on the tape, it's just to be laid down naturally. Don't pull on it at all, because it can then become unstuck and move once the tyre's on. It's just a natural lay. Just push on until it's stuck, and then afterwards we can firmly stick it down, and then we're all good to go to look at putting the tubeless over the rim. So we go, we're coming up to the final part now. And like we've said before, everything is take your time with this, don't rush it. People who rush it, apparently is where they muck up and where it screws up the system. And like we said at the beginning, the procedure of this is extremely important. Well, we come up to the end now, so we'll go approximately 1 inch over the end. Doesn't matter whether or not it's a bit longer, they're roughly 1 inch, and we'll snap it off. The next move is for Craig to fit the TUBliss tube into the holes. So first we need to take the tube out from the liner, and we've sprayed it with some soapy water. We're now going to align the TUBliss valve, the 11mm with the 11mm hole there, and the alignment for this one, which would be the tube inflation with the inflation hole. Once we have these lined up roughly, we can now stick this back into the TUBliss. What could be worth doing is to actually place these inside the holes. That's it. And now we know that should be aligned, ready for the next part of the operation in putting the TUBliss around the rim. Both of the valves out from the inside of the tube, and the one from the main clamp. This will help to release any air when putting the tyre and the TUBliss on. We're now going to go through the stage now of fitting the tube onto the rim, and first of all we slide both of these two valves into the holes, and then we should be able to just put the nut around that one just to hold it in. Just give it a couple of turns around it, that'll hold it in nicely. And then the same for this one, we can just push this one in and then put the nut on, just a few turns just to hold it in. And then we'll go through the step-by-step process of fitting. This is now the TUBliss put on. We used one of these levers to put it on. It is a bit tight, it's got to be tight, but do it slowly from side to side and you'll have no problem. As you can see, we've made sure that all these areas are pinched in. This is on pretty firmly at the moment, and we're making sure there's no pinching of any of the tyre around the rim. And hopefully that looks good to me, and we'll go through to the next stage. We've now put the plate in on the other side, and we've given it a little bit of tyre lubrication. We just need to make sure that this piece here is over the rim. That bit there, Chris, is just the bottom there, mate. That's it, and we're going to just push down, and Chris will push down on the top, as you can see, and we have the rim lock here at the bottom, and slowly it'll go around each part, nice and easy, and just keep popping it down and popping it down. She's just sliding over now. We should be able to just fit it straight in, and if we spin the wheel around, we can take the rim plate out, and now we can seat the wheel into the tyre. That's the MT43 Pirelli now fitted around the rim, and as you can see, we check all the way around to make sure we've got a good seal both sides. So we just spin her around, and you can see it's the same this side. And we've got to be truly honest with this one. Fit this MT43 was quite difficult, and to do it by hand we were having problems, so we actually put it on the machine, and we've tried it that way and it works well. And obviously that's what the guys in Protyre can do for you, whereas you would have to do it by hand at home and maybe have some problems. So we're up to the stage now of tightening up this nut to the recommended tightness, and then we'll start inflating and we'll see where we go from there. The tightening the rim lock to 15 Newton meters. And then we'll put the valves back inside the two tubes here, and we'll inflate the tyre. This apparently is the most important part, and that's to squirt loads of soapy water all the way around the rim, letting it soak inside. You can do it with a tyre lever like this, or you can squirt it all the way around the rim, and it should just hopefully just use a bit of gravity and go in there. So we're going to put copious amounts of this stuff, both sides, all the way around, before we do any of the inflation. And then we'll give it a pump up, and we'll see where we go from there. We put the air pressure in the tyre, and the recommended is 110 psi. So this is whether we get it right or wrong now. Hopefully the thing won't blow up. So we're going to start with 100 and slowly start inflating into the tubed area. So put a safety guard over. We don't even trust ourselves. But hopefully if we've gone through the process correctly, there should be no trouble now with the remainder of the inflation. Right. Taken up in step-by-step gauges, nice and easy. This should pump up pretty quick. This is only a small tube. There we go. This may be something worth purchasing, is this pump. I got it from Halfords. I think it was around about £18. It's handy to put in your Camelback. It will show you high pressures. That shows you it's still up to 110. Because that is really important that that's checked on a daily basis before you go out and maybe while you're riding. And it's not bulky, it's very lightweight, and you can pump it up. So it's something worth looking into purchasing and buying for when you're out on the lanes or out doing enduro to use when and if necessary. Finished article, it didn't explode, so we're happy about that. We've now inflated this one now to 110 psi, and we've put 4 psi in this one. As you can see, the rim is all joined nicely all the way around. It's been a very successful job done by Protyre in Plymouth by Carl. I'm very happy with the Craig, sorry, by Craig. I'm very happy with the finished product. I'll be out on Sunday to run it. So hopefully in future, anyone wants these tyres and tubes fitted, this is the place to come. Right, but thanks for watching our video. It's very amateurish, but maybe it's just as well, so you can see how some guys who's never done it before can actually achieve fitting a TUBliss. Thanks for watching. Kit that you're going to need with the TUBliss. This is the repair kit. Again, you can get this for £7 on eBay, or you can get it at the same time that you purchase your GEN2s from Dunlop and Dickie Quants, which you'll find on this site. And as you're aware, he will supply the tyres for £170. That includes delivery, and this kit for £7. So as you can see, you'll get your toolkits. This is your cleaning tool. This is the tool that you'll use to put one of these sticks in. Here's the glue that you just run across. You have a valve remover. You get a knife. You get instructions. And again, if you talk nicely to Dickie, he'll send you one of their personalised pens. And that's about it, guys. I would just like to say thanks very much to Dickie Quantz and his team at Dunlop for supplying me with the tyres and the good cost they've given me, and also the guys at Protyre being patient with me while I'm doing this filming and adapting it to my KTM Enduro. So if any of you are thinking about getting this type of system fitted, again, contact Dickie. I'm sure he'll do you a good deal. Come down to Protyre. They're very obliging. They're a good bunch of lads, and they'll give you a good price, I'm sure, to fit the tyres. That's not been set yet, but just come down, ask to speak to Dave Thompson, again at Protyre in Plymouth, and they'll sort something out for you. Thanks. That's the TUBliss now, fitted to my bike, and the snazzy stickers all put on. That's the front, and over to the back now. I've decided to ride them with 4 psi on the back, and I'm going to try 6 psi in the front, and we'll see what happens. So watch this space. Happy days.